I just purchased 6,000 Pokemon cards from Facebook Marketplace. And you might be asking yourself, who does that? Today we're going to look and see what this looked like, how I broke all this down, why I'm doing it, and if it was overall worth it. Now, 6,000 Pokemon cards is a lot, but is it cheaper than opening up 600 packs? Let's find out and see if we make our money's worth. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to NextGen Collecting. Here are the Facebook Marketplace ads that I reached out to in my hunt to find bulk Pokemon cards to see if we had any hidden grails or see if anything was worth it. I met up with a bunch of folks and they actually provided the cards that I ended up purchasing in some of these cardboard Amazon boxes and a few of the little plastic tins. So haphazardly, and my goal was get these sorted as soon as possible to figure out what we have. And so I spent a lot of time early on trying to go through every one of these cards individually to find out what set they were part of to better understand if we had any money makers in here. So I spent the better part of my time going through a lot of cards individually.
1 week later.
And oh my gosh, was this a slow process. I went through over 6,000 cards by hand to make sure that they were sorted individually into the correct set. And wow, did my fingers hurt by the end of this. Now, largely what I saw is that folks were really doing a lot of prismatic and 151 ripping. Not surprising, but it took me a long time to get them to sets. And when I finally had them into their individual sets, what I did is I tried to organize them a little bit better for my business. Now, as many of you might know or are learning about NextGen Collecting, I am trying to start a trading card business, and I am using this opportunity to establish and build my bulk collections. Now you'll see I'm sorting these into individual trading card slots. Now the goal here really is going to be have low cost cards that I can use as more frequent transactions to improve my feedback reading. And right now, I have 0 transactions. We're just starting up on TCG Player. And the goal is that you can build a lot of your transactions through these smaller purchases. So as a seller, if you're looking to complete a set or you're looking for individual cards, the goal is that you can do this frequently.
3 weeks later.
Now, it took me a long time. It probably took me 4 days, about an hour and a half to 2 hours, 3 hours maybe each, going through and just organizing the cards into sets. Now, it probably would have been smart at that time to then filter out the holos, but I really wanted to get everything in a clean place before I then filtered things out. So I put everything into these organizing boxes, and you'll see I'm going through every individual card now to find out which ones are holo cards or reverse holos. Now, a lot of these that I got were common or uncommon holos and reverse holos, which, as we all know, aren't worth a ton, but a lot of them are really fun to look at and have some pretty fun art. So right now, we're not going to be showing off too much of the art, but we're going to be showing the volume of those individual cards. So at the very end, we can better map out how much this was actually all worth. Now, all in all, I spent about $150 getting all of this bulk, and it was around 6,000 cards. So at the very end, we'll go through the math to figure out on a per card basis, did we make our money back? And it's going to be difficult to move this, so it might not be a short-term money back piece, but it might be something that continues again to build the brand and the company overall. Now, when I'm releasing this, it is the 26th of September, which is exactly the Mega Evolution release date. So while I have been recording some of this audio and making sure that the video is going up on time, I was also waiting this morning in line at Target and at Best Buy to try and catch some cards on the first day of the set. Now, I missed all of the Pokemon Center pre-orders for this, unfortunately, so I didn't get anything in terms of the Pokemon Center ETBs, any online pre-orders through anyone, and to be honest, I saw folks lining up at GameStop yesterday around noon, and I wasn't exactly interested in staying outside overnight in the rain to maybe get an ETB. So I topped in this morning. I probably woke up around 5:30 or 6 and headed down to my Target that opened at 8. Probably got there around 6:30, and I was the 8th person in line. I was able to get a few cards there, a bundle, a few loose sleeves, and a 3-pack blister. And luckily, I was also able to go over to my Best Buy that opened at 10 and get about the same over there. So we're going to be ripping some Mega Evolutions tonight, and we'll hopefully have a video out for you soon. Would love to enjoy this with some of my friends, and I'm sure a lot of you are looking for a product as well. It's obviously super hard to get, and scalping is tough. But I will say, keep trying, get out there, try your best, and good luck. Now, we are nearing the end of our first box here. This entire first box is going to be from the Scarlet and Violet era. Now again, as I said, a majority of these are going to be from Prismatic Evolutions, with the second highest, I believe, being 151, and then Surging Sparks. There was also quite a bit from Twilight Masquerade, and as well as some of the smaller sets. Stellar Crown, I think we had quite a few, and there were some from Paldea Evolved, Paldean Fates, and even Scarlet and Violet Base. So a lot of good variety in here. Nothing crazy though. You'll notice I'm not showing off any individual cards, and that's mostly because, again, we're seeing common and uncommon reverse holos or holos. Now each of these, again, are probably only worth 7 to 20 cents a piece. Some of them, might be a little bit higher based on if they're Pokeball or Master Ball, but it was a slog to get through all of this. Now you'll also see on this left-hand bin, there's one row of sets from Sword and Shield. We won't go too much through those, but those are going to be ones where we had just a lot of non-holo cards, but it was fun to see some cards from the late 2010s. On top of this 6,000 card set, we were also able to actually snag the code cards from all of the packs that the folks that I bought from opened. So that ended up being about 600 code cards, seeing how many packs these guys had opened up. So very exciting to see that overall. Now we're just about nearing the end of sorting through these, and I probably have a couple hundred reverse holos and holos. And again, depending on the set, those can be worth different pieces. So we'll do some research on TCG a little bit later to see if that was actually worth it.
One eternity later.
And oh my gosh, we finally got through it, and I want to just show off fun cards. There's a few from earlier ages, pre-Sword and Shield, and I actually found this Pidgey with a crimp at the bottom. This is my first error card that has anything like this, so I was super excited to see this, and I'm thinking about sending it into CGC. Next up in kind of the fun finds were actually 3 cards that were considered bold font cards. This happens after a card is run through a print once, and if a holo card comes through and it maybe gets the print or ink a second time, and it appears blurry or a little bit more bold than usual. And finally, we have just some Pokemon Go promos, which I love to see because I did not get to pick these up when they came out. So all in all, was this actually worth it? Now, I think the thing to keep in mind is my goal is actually not to get a huge amount of ROI here, but really to focus on the opportunity to build the business. So yes, while each card is worth 2 cents per card, I really want to focus on the number of transactions I can get out of this. So I sorted by set, counted up the number of common versus uncommon cards that I had here, tried to estimate again, just for fun, what these are all worth on TCG Player, the lowest tier card, and then I went through and counted up our number of holos and reverse holos. Tried to calculate out both the minimum and the median price for these cards. Now I did average those two numbers in my calculations to take kind of the lower quartile of numbers to get the overall estimated value, which results in about $314, with those code cards resulting in just about $340. So let me know in the comments if you think it was worth it, or if you think that was a waste of time. It was a lot of time. And thanks. We'll catch you in the next one.